Hi, everybody. Welcome to A Company of Fools, our Monday night D&D stream. We are ready to rock and roll and play some games here tonight. Before we do, let's talk about a couple of things we got going on. You know what? Can't really do that right now. We don't have any of the banners and bars up that we normally do. I'm gonna have to update some things. Man, there's a whole bunch of going on here. I gotta fix that. Hold on. Where's that? Sorry, I gotta. One of the things is not working on here. Where is this? Here we go. There, that's better. Okay. Sorry about that. Well, we're at 571 followers. As soon as we hit 1,000, or anytime we hit 1,000, our beloved player Chris is going to give away a legendary bundle on D&D Beyond. I think that's really the only major one. Every time we hit 50 subscribers, of course, we give away a set of dice. But I need to double check how many subscribers towards that we are currently. Because obviously the bar is not there right now that measures that, because I switched over streaming platforms. So let's see how that works. Looks like I also have to fix a couple of cameras here real quick, such as my own.
Nope, wrong way.
There's that. That should be better. And then let's fix this one here. Getting used to this new program sucks.
Like I say, I will say, Mark, that this program, there's already a significantly shorter delay between what we actually do and when it shows up on Twitch.
Yeah. Who knows if that's a good thing, right? It's probably a good thing.
I mean, unless you ever try to do a G-rated podcast, I think it'll be fine.
Or
stream.
I don't think there's a necessity for that in Orden. I don't think there's a possibility of that in Orden either.
Not with the dock going.
I do not acknowledge that channel.
There won't be a spin-off series called Legion Babies?
No. No, there will not. Alright. Why don't we get right into it? Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and your characters, and we'll get this show on the road.
Evening, everybody. I'm Stu. I play Gaz, the half-orc Oath of Redemption paladin, who is the commander of the Legion and is currently scrambling to get his armor on after the battle.
I'm Dio. I play Captain Sparks, an artificer armorer and also our arcane trickster rogue who has a lot lot on her plate right now and has so many plans that she needs to do, and so little time and so little funding, and so many beautiful ethical questions that she needs to ask herself. And she just waking up after a hopefully nice long rest.
Hi, I'm Adam. I play Captain Trix, the fathomless warlock, and he's angry.
I'm John. I play Captain Preacher, the Peace Domain Cleric of the Phoenix Legion, and he is currently awake and getting ready for another long day.
I am Emmy, and I play Captain Bliss, the newest and youngest captain. She just finished playing Snow White for the evening, playing some music to get some rats out of their fort, which was fun, courtesy of Sparks. And now she is really questioning why they don't go beat up the Claw.
And I am Mark, the Mark Knight. I am your dungeon master this evening. And as they said when we last left off, these miscreants had entered into the Citadel, and it was necessary for the Legion to be roused in order to remove them from their home. Apparently, after the battle, it was necessary for the Dragonborn to be roused in order for them to remove the plants from their home. That was not a popular decision that was made in the middle of the night. And the following morning, the place still needs weeding and tending. It might take a little bit of time before the Citadel is fully, cleaned up from the previous night's battle.
So, Captain's meeting to start off.
Well, the next morning, I will tell you all a couple of things. One of the things that you all notice, or at least a couple of you notice, is that... who has the highest perception, actually?
Me?
Who has decent perception, I should say.
We talking passive?
Yeah, passives.
+3 for Gaz.
17.
14.
Emmy's just shaking her head now. Trix
22.
Trix and Sparks. The following morning, you notice chew marks on parts of certain furniture in your rooms. Or rat droppings in corners of your rooms.
And it was not there the night before?
Correct. Just something you notice the following morning. The men... the Dragonborn have retreated to the submarine before the cover of night is over. And whichever officer is in charge of the morning watch has men beginning to clean up, or continuing to clean up the plants throughout the Citadel. You all receive a full night's rest, but it is It was a long night, to say the least.
Sparks, when she noticed all the bite marks, she will send her raven to look for the rats and try to kill them. Or at least make attention to people that there's a rat here, kill it. So my familiar is going to try to deal with that in the meantime.
Okay.
And she probably, she was not sleeping in her quarters. She will now completely move downstairs for the time being and just use her quarters for meetings if need to.
Okay.
I will go to see Trix. Trix, have you noticed poop rat everywhere and shoe marks?
Yes, I thought I'd left that behind in the prison. I'll speak with them later.
I have sent my familiar to deal with them. Why don't you send also your familiar to eat them? Isn't your familiar like a snake or something?
Yes, but I'll just ask them to leave.
Oh, you can do that? Why didn't you do that in the night?
Because I have to talk to each individual rat individually.
That's not time efficient. Just
Plus,
send
I
your
have
familiar.
I have to actually get them to agree. But rats are stupid, so a bribe usually works.
Just it's less time consuming and less bothersome. I suppose I can try to make some poison. I've never been good at that. Well, just something to think about it.
I mean, the rats are the least of our problems. We need to get this prisoner.
Unless the rats are some sort of spies.
No, we need to get this prisoner to tell us where his group is. If he doesn't, I would say we'd kill him, but...
Trix, we know where the group is.
Do we?
Yes, we do. Bliss already sent her spy network. She told us where it is, in which section of the Foster district they are.
It's an abandoned warehouse. We don't know for certain they're there.
Then we should go. I mean, we were named the protectors of Robert. We know that there is a thieves' den there. At the very least, shouldn't we just go? Actually do our work, the label they gave us.
Oh. I want to make sure that wizard doesn't leave alive.
Again.
Fair enough. I have things to do.
He is currently our biggest problem. As long as he is alive, he can return. Wherever he is.
Sure. I have things to do. I'll see you guys later. Sparks will leave. And she will go to her room and try to clean.
Okay. Well, Sparks is spending some time trying to clean up what is in there, though it's not a lot. It's not like significant amounts. That's why you and Trix, with your higher perceptions, noticed it, right? The rest of you did not notice anything. What's going on? What are your thoughts, guys? Are you calling a meeting of the commanders? Are you interrogating this prisoner? What's the next step for the Legion?
Well, he's consulting with Agranak at the moment regarding what he knows of the claws. Granted, he probably should have been doing that over the week as well, but...
Sure. Agranak tells you... The war chiefs did not concern ourselves much with them. There were the faceless, very few of them, who walked among the tribes in order to make sure that loyalty was maintained. But as for the claw beyond the mountains, there is little we knew of them. There was little need to.
Two different forms of battle. You concerned yourselves with a warrior's fight, and they concerned themselves with the battle that the nobles here fight. Or something akin to it.
I can tell you that the goddess received information often from many places.
So I'm assuming that were we to say anything about her publicly, she would bring all of her force to bear on Grover. Or at least that's the inclination I'm getting.
She already is, but...
If you
Well, on Grover as a whole.
If you do
not
that,
just the Legion.
she will know.
So if we keep who was behind this attack a public secret, she would continue targeting solely the Legion, presumably.
If that is her will.
Well, she's trying to suppress information about her existence, so a full-scale assault against the entire city would be another matter entirely.
Agranak nods. Have no doubt. She's not foolish enough to think that you would not speak of her to anyone. She will come.
But she may accelerate her plans if she thinks if we announce her existence publicly. Which, even worse, could be good for us because it might mean that she has to launch unprepared, but also bad for us because that means that we are largely unprepared as well.
I do not presume to know her mind.
I think an officers meeting is in order.
Kitty.
Well, she's currently in heat, so she's also a bit of a sense freak at the moment. So, yeah, I'd send Paige around to gather the other officers.
And he would do so. Eventually drawing all of you to your what is basically your conference room.
So yeah, the first basement. And where are we keeping the prisoner? Yeah, we decided to have him fully manacled, right?
Are you keeping him where you had the original prisoner with like locked in with Gaz, or are you keeping him in that separate room where you interrogated the prisoners the last time?
I'm thinking a different room entirely, given that, both were used in elements of teleportation.
Mm-hmm.
And with
Can we not
two
give
guards
him a
within the
chair?
room.
Can you what?
Not give him a chair.
Well, yeah, he's manacled. Like, he's basically chained to the wall, I think is the idea. Like, wrist to the wall and ankles to the wall.
Okay. Well, you have him in a secure location. That's fine. Away from where you've had the prisoners in the past.
Preacher, I believe you mentioned thinking that he was a little less strong-willed than the previous prisoner, correct?
The artifact you found on him and his conscious choice to not carry out its intended function. It's either a brilliant ploy to lull us into thinking so, or he is actually weak-willed.
I thought it was just the ring, as if he died.
Yeah, I would keep him at 0. Of course, that wouldn't prevent him from just slinging his own throat.
Exactly. If it truly was a ring of loyalty, and he chose not to use its effects to avoid capture and being interrogated.
The Ring of Loyalty, all it does is if he drops to 0 hit points, he dies instantly. No death saves, no opportunities to... he just dies.
Right, what we're saying is he could have...
He didn't fight to the death, but he certainly, wasn't...
Well, he could have also slit his own throat, is what we were saying. So he's not a full-blown Zealot.
I would disagree.
Necessarily.
But...
Or at least he's not so far into zealotry that he would be willing to just kill himself rather than be captured.
Well... We'll discuss it at the meeting, we'll see, because I disagree, but...
I think this is the meeting.
Is it? Because I didn't know we were...
Yeah, I had said that that Paige went around and gathered all of the officers and brought you to the to meet in the conference room, and after everyone gets their things together, they eventually make their way there for the time of the meeting. If there's something you would like to do before that, then let me know. Or perhaps right after it. Otherwise, you guys are all gathered together here.
At least inclined to believe that this one might be a little bit more pliable, with a more effective targeted interrogation. Although, Commander, one wonders if you are willing to reprise your role, so to speak.
I'm not sure that trick would serve us well in this situation. Because we already know certain information. We could have... I'm just trying to deliberate on how exactly to go about this.
I personally don't think it's worth the time and effort to keep trying interrogating prisoners after prisoners. I don't understand why we're just not attacking the Claw at this point. They attack us, no problem.
Because they know where we are. We
We have a good idea where they are. Why are we not going down there and seeing?
Because we do need to try figuring out how to work that with the various houses. We would have to go into House Foster's territory.
Yeah, isn't it better to ask forgiveness than permission?
Yes, we were given the title of Protectors of Grover. That is a thief's den. Shouldn't we protect the city from that? If they raise any issues about it, we just say we were protecting Grover. It's like you can take the credit for that, for taking over a thief's den, and that will please them too.
Until Foster raises an objection as to why they weren't counseled beforehand, and then claims they can use this as justification to interfere with their houses. Why should we hold that?
They gave us a title of Protectors of Grover. is a thieves' den. We are protecting them too from thieves.
In this case,
and you know that Faust Foster isn't backing them. Why?
now here's the thing: we can presume that they might very well be coordinating with thieves' den in regards to illicit goods. I kind of give a meaningful glance at Sparks on that one. Hint, hint, Captain Card idea. So it's like, yeah, that alone is not enough. But the fact that they are that the Thieves' Den is coordinating with the claws of Thundermaw, that is something Foster might not be aware of whatsoever. We have no way of knowing. But we can use that as a counter to any complaint they make that we acted based on intelligence we received after this attack in regards to where their location is.
Gaz, they're going to ask us if we know that and we are protectors of Robert, why are we not doing anything about it?
No,
and the other thing is
Captain Sparks, I was agreeing with you. We should strike at the claw. However, the question then becomes, we don't have a very good picture of what their defenses are and what their capabilities are. We managed to locate where they are, correct, Captain Bliss?
Correct.
But have we managed to infiltrate anyone inside as yet?
No, we've just been watching. All we know is there's some shady and interesting characters going in and out.
So the issue becomes, what protections do they have within there? How many people do they have there? What measures of escape might they have prepared?
Do we know that they're even aware that the claw is, like, that's part of their guild?
True. But in that case, we could take as many alive as possible, because we are acting as the city guard as well, so we don't want to go in and wholesale slaughter, obviously. This is not warfare, this is law-keeping. But if we press on those that we capture, they might be able to give us information. But, as I said, the issue becomes, especially with the claw being able to teleport in the manner they are, how do we make sure that they don't escape?
I believe we may be able to beg an indulgence from House Dolan into countering that caster. Maybe not more than that aid outside of that specific scope, but that enough alone, I think, would be able to suffice.
I'm confused. When did Dolan get involved in the situation?
As Lieutenant Commander, now that I'm, that, I just want to point out some things that maybe I've observed in the few weeks that we've been in the city, and kind of use some of the knowledge from having been part of Card's crew. Do you really think any of the houses are on our side? Because I sure as hell don't.
No, they are not.
They
are
right.
not.
We need to stop asking them for things, because I don't think that they're really here to help us unless it's to, put us in a position where we owe them things.
Yes.
And that's why, and Silver, thank you for making my point.
Lieutenant Commander.
That's why I don't think we should go to Dolan and ask him for shit at this point. The more we ask them to do things, the more they're going to want stuff from us. If Commander Gaz, if your entire idea is that we help to get this city to some kind of peaceful resolution of unity by putting ourselves in a position where we are trading favors with the houses, we're putting ourselves more and more in the debt to individual council members. The other thing I would say is if the Claw is in control of the Thieves Guild, that's one thing. But if they're posing as a Thieves Guild, or if they're using the Thieves Guild as a cover, and we expose the fact that we know where their location is, and can go in there and disrupt it, maybe they'll escape. But regardless, their foothold here will be weakened, right?
Very true.
I don't know what that means. I don't know where we go from there. I'm not going to get that far, but like, I just know when Card would get flushed out of a safe house, we stopped using that safe house. We found another one somewhere else.
Within the same city?
Not right away. It takes a little while to sneak back in and reestablish something. Unless they already have multiple safe houses in the city.
Which is entirely possible.
Given the length of time they've been here, I would almost guarantee it.
But on the flip side, that also means that we could lean on anyone we take into custody as to where those other safe houses might be.
Such as the prisoner down below.
If they've gone this long without being noticed or needing to even consider whether they were in danger or not because nobody really knew they were here,
Which does lend credence to the idea that they infiltrated the Thieves Guild rather than took it over.
I don't know. I'm just throwing out there some thoughts based on my own experience.
Well, it'd be far easier to keep it covered.
Just saying, if you explored it, you might get some of those answers. I mean, if you just take a little peek inside, it's just an idea.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. However, Lieutenant Commander Silver, I understand your contempt for the houses and your distrust for them, but at some point, there is going to be a unified government. Who would you rather?
Is there going to be a unified government? Actually, you believe that?
My question is this: exactly who will lead that? Would it be someone that would you rather it be someone that knows us, that's dealt with us, that we are indebted to, and thus will keep us on as protectors of the city, or someone else?
Once they are into power, they don't need us.
In their mind, yes, and that's why we should take steps to ensure that they can't get there without us.
If all of them, they will less need us. Is if we're in a bad position, we should not get in a even worse position. We cannot be in debt to any of them.
And the simple fact of the matter is, we don't know how far these Claw's infiltrations have sunk. They very well could have agents within all of the houses. They might not be in control of the houses or even influencing the houses, but they may very well have agents within each of the houses. We don't know.
Look,
we do have a house name to go off of, which I believe would be helpful in rooting them out. However, another thing to consider, captains. Regardless of how you feel, 3 fireballs went off inside our home last night. People outside the Citadel undoubtedly know that there's an attack going on. What do we tell them?
For the moment, actually, in regards to, say, sending forces into the Thieves Guild, who would go? Would we go as the captain? Would we go as the captains and commanders, or would we send agents?
Oh no! Why would you go walking into a thieves guild?
No,
I think
I don't think out of character. I don't think he was saying, do we as the captains just go and we're like, hey, we're the captains of the Phoenix Legion here. He's saying, do some of us go? Does the Legion send Sparks and Bliss specifically, or any combination of the commanders undercover to try and get into the Thieves Guild, or do you send some of your spy network to try and get in?
I wasn't even saying like undercover. I was saying like as an arresting force.
Oh, okay. You just send an arresting force. Okay, then that's...
Do we want this?
No.
And that was what I was asking, was do we send an arresting force, or do we send an infiltration force? How do we deal with this in the immediate?
Infiltration. That's what I will say. Infiltration. we need to gather more
Agreed.
information.
In which case,
Unless-
I don't think any of us would be very suitable for it. Simply because we're too high profile. They could suss us out easier. We'd be easier to identify than
Bliss
subordinates.
is just gonna stare at Sparks at this point and just be
I
like,
can cast. I can cast.
Disguise
Yes.
self as will.
I can-
At will.
Yeah, I can do that. I can cast disguise self at will.
And such establishments wouldn't necessarily frown upon people coming in with such enchantments, because anyone going into such place would take steps to hide their identity.
Okay.
And trying to unmask one would be an insult to everyone else.
Okay. So,
Have you ever been in a thieves' den?
I can speak thieves' can too.
Preacher kind of looks over at Trix and smiles. I grew up in Grover. What do you think?
From what
I
I've
think
seen,
you
probably
played at
not.
being a thief.
Bliss is nodding at Silver like, mm-hmm.
well, I think we can all safely say that I haven't.
Preacher essentially is taking that question as in, what do you think Grover is if nothing but a giant thieves' den?
There's a difference between playing footsie with the nobles in this game that they like to play and getting down in the dirt with the ones that run the backhanded operations.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. The daggers the nobles possess are far more deadly.
I
But
don't
in a
disagree
different
with
manner.
No,
that.
just
It's
more
each their own.
jeweled.
It's in a different fashion. It's an apples and oranges comparison. Let's move on. So, do we want to find from this prisoner more information about other locations they might have?
Because the last interrogation went so well.
What if we just doubled our efforts? Sparks and Bliss are both... Broker specifically picked Bliss to be his replacement because of her ability to get in and out of places and find out information, whether it be from nobility or not. So maybe we send Sparks and Bliss to go and get some information from the Thieves Guild without putting themselves in any danger, as best to their ability as they can, and the rest of us interrogate this prisoner and find out if we can find information that way. This way we're killing two birds with one stone. Instead of trying to take one step at a time and slowly get through this, because Preacher's right about one thing. 3 fireballs went off in the middle of our home last night. And yes, people may have seen it, but what would sound better? The Legion coming out and saying, some of you may have seen that the Citadel was attacked and we repelled the attackers, and we are working to suss out the situation and fix it, or coming out and saying, we have swiftly dealt with those who have attacked the Citadel in order to show our outside enemies that Grover is still secure regardless of the political turmoil.
Preacher kind of gives like an approving nod and a smile at Silver. You learn fast, Lieutenant Commander.
Sometimes I stop joking. Sometimes.
And Lieutenant Bliss, or Captain Bliss, is a fresh enough face that she likely wouldn't be recognized by the claws.
And even if she is, I imagine she has her ways of negating such maneuvers, right?
Of course.
Then it sounds like we've got a course of action.
Bliss will go to high five Captain Sparks. Like, woo, girls' night!
Spark high her like she will use mage hand to do so.
I was just about to ask.
She will look questionable, but she's just gonna let it go.
Just chalk it up to standing on opposite sides of the table.
Mm-hmm.
Preacher does have before you two go, I would like one thing. I would like for peace of mind and for safety. I would like to cast a spell on you two.
Okay.
That's fine. I mean, usually guys buy me dinner first, but all right.
That way, any information you two collect will be in real time sent back here, and we will know instantly if anything goes wrong.
Does this mean I have to be careful what I think?
So that's going to be out of character. That's going to be between.
Cannot do. It's a can thing. It's not always on.
Perfect.
Okay. So that's going to be between Sparks and Bliss, right? Because it says it only is 30 feet.
No, the initial range is 30 feet. As in when I first cast it, but it can be between 8 creatures, so it'll be the 3 of us.
Everyone has to be within 30 feet of him when he casts.
Yes, but once they're connected, it is.
The communication is possible over any distance.
Yep.
Except through other planes.
Correct.
Okay.
And the duration?
So
The
you
duration
guys have
is
1 hour
hour
to infiltrate the guild.
So,
Which I mean,
we may want
using
to have
teleportation
that.
circles, it shouldn't take that long to get there.
Sure, but it's probably something that you should do when they're ready, like right before they're ready to go, rather than
Yeah, of
Right.
course.
Sparks, in your head, do you hear me? After Trix had been nonchalantly writing in his book.
Trick? I don't like hearing other people's or things voices in my head. It's a little bit unnerving.
Do you already have enough competition? That's out of character.
Trix holds up the book with your words in it and just says out loud, "I'll check in every hour."
What
That
did
would
you
be easier.
what feature did you just use there?
Far Scribe. Unlimited sending, 1 phrase per thing. Takes a minute to cast instead of an action. And I can only do it on up to my proficiency bonus people, but that happens to be 4, as many people are currently playing this game.
Aside from yourself.
Right.
Yeah. So just let us know if you're in danger, and if we don't hear from you,
Sure.
then we'll...
Oh, that means I need to leave my lieutenant in charge.
Make your preparations and pick out a couple other people to go with you if you feel you need the extra help with infiltrating.
I
Sure,
think the less people, the best.
Yeah, I think we got
Fair
it. Just
enough.
the 2 of us.
So are you going to go with doing the far scrape, or am I still going to be casting where he's the telepathic bond?
I mean, you can do it as a ritual, right? So you can still do it when they're about to set out, and at least for the first hour, it'll be a lot faster to communicate.
Right, and then the Far Scribe can be back up once the first hour is over.
Yeah, it's not one or all. I mean, we can do both.
Okay.
Before I leave,
Because Preacher's of the mind, like, he's not going to start interrogating until, like, you guys get in there, because information that you guys can glean can be used directly against the prisoner.
Fair point.
Okay. What were you saying,
Be-
Sparks?
before she leaves in the preparation, she's going to go and visit Gas. But before she will go to the kitchen, grab a couple of stuff, Fred's apple juice, and maybe something yummy to eat, and we'll bring the tray to Gas, and we'll lock the door.
So we've obviously dispersed from the meeting then. How long after?
Just before, probably right after the meeting, after she went and cooked something and bring it to us.
Okay.
Hey guys,
then?
are you busy? Are you busy?
Writing letters to the families of those that were killed in the ambush.
Sure, that's something. Have you eaten? I brought you food.
I typically eat right after doing my morning prayer, so yes. Thank you, though.
Well, if you are hungry, here is something, and you will see a really nice steak, apple juice, and your favorite dessert there.
Oh God.
Dessert for breakfast?
Like whatever she's preparing for whatever. So you just it's fresh apple juice, and I prepare the meat as you like it, and a nice dessert in case.
Is something amiss?
Well, we have known each other for a while, and I think I respect you enough to tell you that this, and she will push the tray to him. This is a bribe.
In regards to?
And a bribe / apologies. I want you to when something happens, you will remember this nice food and feel instead of rage or an ulcer in your stomach, like nice feelings.
Captain
Warm
Sparks.
feelings. Yes.
Have I ever struck you as an unreasonable person?
No. But
Then I would appreciate you just coming out and saying something, as opposed to dancing around it.
Okay, so I'm leaving Tempest as my lieutenant, and I don't think you have met Tempest. Well, first of all, I need to tell you that she is not one of mine, really. She was the lieutenant for Star, and when she became the commander, she asked me to quote unquote take care of her, and she is very
abrasive.
She speaks her mind a lot, and she has strong opinions, and she's not evil. Don't worry.
And that is a difference from our other captains. How?
Krakadon,
Come again?
have you heard about the god Krakadon?
Out of character, no.
Krakadon is the god of the sea and storms.
It would make sense that someone from Grover might worship that deity. I'm assuming they're from Grover.
Geneva.
From
Come again?
Geneva.
It's close enough to the ocean anyway.
Sure, but she well, I just wanted to give you something so you will be fine and everything will be fine. I asked her to be nice, and I hope she's nice.
You realize that the lieutenants usually are not in on the captain's meeting, though.
I know, but
okay.
In case something happens, she's a cleric, so if you need someone to be patched up, please go to Preacher and take her as the last resort. Last resort. That's all.
Out of character, I thought this was Sparks basically asking for the day off at some point to be able to have that date with Captain Card.
How did you not get her date yet?
Because he said no.
Well, no, that's why out of character, I was figuring that this was the bribe to try and butter him up for that. But anyway, back in character.
You will see what happens. Yeah, sure. Just, and she will push the tray. Yes, made with all my love, so you will not have. She will not push your buttons too much. Hopefully,
I'll
just
only
say.
be having the desserts. I'll probably be taking the juice down to the prisoner. Try and butter them up a little bit.
Okay, as you wish. I will prepare. I need. Police is probably waiting for me. So.
Best of luck and keep in touch. If there's an emergency situation, immediately send to Captain Trix.
Sure. I hope that Citadel is here when I return.
If it's not, then we've got larger concerns than anything else.
She will just leave and go to see police. Police, are you ready?
Oh yeah, she went and changed her outfit, and now she's all set to go.
What is she police dress as?
Well, she's still like her tiefling usual self. But the only difference major is now it kind of like her outfit looks like she's pretty much from Street Fighter at this point. Where she still has a jacket. Instead, her top is like wrapped bandages around her chest. Her pants are one short leg and one long leg, so she wraps her tail around her covered full leg. And her hair is kind of like poofed up over her horns, like space buns. Ready to go?
She will be like, are you going to a party? We're going to the thieves den. They are more subduing their.
Nah, don't worry about it. This is not my first rodeo with some thieves. Trust me.
Okay. Sparks will. She will stealth and outside of the citadel, and then she will change her looks to be really short hair. Eyes colors will be brown. Hair color will be black, and will look more tame. Yep.
Yeah, but like before you guys left the citadel, Preacher would have been waiting for you at the gate and would have cast.
Yeah, thanks.
You guys move through the recently weeded courtyard.
In the back door, the one that Lady Andros used, that one I'm supposing is not full of weeds, or is full of weeds too.
Oh, everything within 100 miles of or 100 feet of the center of the citadel is covered in weeds. It was covered in thick weeds. The actual spell, Plant Growth, says that it takes, let's see, oh man, I thought it said it. Yeah, it just says all normal plants in a 100-foot radius centered on that point become thick and overgrown. So that includes like any kind of like plant that was in the vicinity within 100 feet of the center of the place. I thought there was a caveat about how long it takes to clear, but
well, I was wondering, because if Sparks used the Dragonborn with acid and fire, she will at least have clean enough so people can come in and out, at least from.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. That's why I said recently weeded.
Yeah. So, please, do you have any plans for getting in?
I guess we'll see when we get there.
Oh God. Okay. Just so you know, I'm a terrible liar.
Yeah, I know that. It's okay. So here's the plan. So the best thing to do, since you are terrible at lying. It's okay, because you look cute, which is great. Just tell the truth. Just not whatever you're saying. Just point something out and just tell the truth about something that is not related to the question. Just pretend to be like an airhead or something. So like you're not technically lying if you're saying like, oh, you have blue eyes, because if they do have blue eyes, it's not a lie. So just if you can't lie, just don't, please.
Okay, I'll try to remember that. Fair enough. So I don't know if I should ask you this because it's not related to our current plan and it's not work related. Do you like personal questions?
I love personal questions. Yeah, hey, we have a bit of a walk. Like, it's girl talk. Let's get to know each other, Captain Sparks. Like, there's so much going on with you.
You guys both hear like a minor groan inside your heads.
Sparks will ignore that because it's it's too awkward for her. So, guys, in her mind, can you pretend not to hear the next, I don't know, 10 minutes of talk?
I was gonna say, if they are gonna like
Gladly.
Incidentally, it does say can, I believe. It's not a passive thing. Yeah, can communicate telepathically.
Yeah, it's not passive. That's true.
Okay. You're good.
Right. Okay.
That was just him, Urban, yeah. Admittedly, out of character, I was cackling maniacally simply because it's like, oh, Bliss is going to be kept asking Sparks personal questions. That's going to go swimmingly.
And they could do that in their heads as they're walking down, so no one could be the wiser.
Oh, true.
So, do you have a lot of experience going out with guys, right?
And girls, yeah.
Well, I like a guy. I don't know if he likes me back.
Oh, that's the Bechdel test failed already.
I want to go out with him, but Gas hasn't given me permission. I'm probably going to sneak and do that anyways. But I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, once we're out of the citadel, then what's the protocol? Like, the last time we went out, I was able to give him a tour guide, but I knew the city, so... And then we went to my parents, so...
Wait, so the guy you like doesn't know you like him, but you already made him meet your parents?
Business meeting.
Okay. There's so much I want to unpack right there. First thing is, as I said in the meeting, it is better to ask forgiveness than permission. Whenever you want your date, you let me know, and I will make sure Gaz is not the wiser. We will get you on your date, and it will be fine. So you just got to give your girl a heads up.
Okay. Right. Do you find chainmail pretty? Because I maybe I should go with a dress, but we've been attacked recently, so I don't know if that's wise.
I mean,
maybe if I put some
chainmail can be pretty, and I mean, everyone has their tastes.
I don't know what his tastes are. How do I ask him what his tastes are? Like I don't know.
Like, you have a conversation with him, Sparks.
I know. I look. I rehearse all the things that I want to tell him. I go, and then my mind goes blank, and then I just try not to giggle.
Well, first off, that sounds so cute. Like, you have one of those type of like fairy tale romances where it's like, oh wow, when I'm around him, he's the only thing I can think of. Not my usual relationships, I will say, but that sounds so good for you. We'll have to work on that kind of conversations that you have. Sparks, have you ever been like in a relationship at all? Like, you guys were stranded together in the desert for how long? And like what? I just don't understand.
He's not from the Legion. Well, goodness gracious, no. That will be problematic. That will be very, very problematic.
Ooh, so is it like not a thing to like date within the Legion? Is that like a thing? Because I didn't get that in my handbook.
No, you can. Most people do. It's hard to be in a relationship when you don't allow other people to touch you.
Yeah, so I mean, on this conversation, why? Just curious, Sparks. Like, you know, I know you got your hat thing going on. So like, you don't like people touching you. What's that about? Since everyone else seems to be in on it, and I'm just like,
complicated.
I mean, if Sparks, if you think it's because of like you're not pretty and you have to disguise yourself, I don't think that's true. I'm sure however you look is fantastic.
Hideous.
I don't think so, but I mean, if you're more confident
I
the way
people
you are,
screaming hideous. People scream, and that's the other thing. Like I could have gone out with this guy, but I'm being postponing it because at one point he will find out, and he will probably not like me, and I don't want to deal with that. But I have been told recently that I should honor myself and be what I am in front of everyone. So maybe I should just go clean before the date, but if I do that, then I won't have a date because he won't like me. So,
Sparks, I think you have to think about this. You have a stellar personality, and I think you just need to own who you are as a person. And they won't care about what's on the outside. I mean, I know I'm the type of girl who's like, oh my god, I'm like gorgeous, out appearance matters. But like, I'm a tiefling. People have weird reactions to me, but like, I just own it because I'm just so gorgeous that at this point, people can hate me for being a tiefling, and they'll still be jealous that I look this good.
So now everybody will like me. Like I one time, like told the kid that I was going to kill him with his own entrails. So I don't know if that counts as a good personality trait. And
in the meantime.
Oh, I wanted to stop Paige on when we were leaving the meeting, and I didn't want to interrupt everyone's role play.
Fair. So going back a little while, a few hours probably.
Yeah.
You grab Paige on the way out of the meeting.
Paige, you seem to know a lot of the workings of the Legion. Do you by chance do the guard rotations?
No, that would be the lieutenant commander who's in charge of that. My job is mostly paperwork.
Oh, well, I wasn't sure because I didn't know if that counted as paperwork or not.
I would be in charge of documenting and posting such information. Would it be necessary?
Understood. I'm going to go talk to Commander Silva then. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, Paige is very much a he's like the scribe.
Bookworm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if, the minutia of scheduling was handled by the scribe or not.
I think it would be more along the lines of
recording the day-to-day.
Yeah, Sparks. The lieutenant commander would assign certain captains to be in charge of certain watches, and then those captains would assign certain units to be the guards during that rotation, if that makes sense. Rather than someone assigning, like, going through all the ranks and assigning individuals to specific guard duty times. I think it would be a shit rolls downhill kind of a situation. But yeah, you can catch up to Lieutenant Commander Silver. Absolutely.
Okay. Silva, question for you.
Yes. Trix. What can I do for you?
I'd like to make this. I know in our meeting, Preacher was going on about how he believes this prisoner to be more pliable than the last, but I'd like to make him more pliable.
How?
Tell the guards watching him not to let him sleep. Something they used to do to us in the prison.
How long are we waiting to interrogate this guy?
That's what I was just about to ask, because that advice was a little... Yeah. You could have mentioned it the night before, now that I'm thinking about it. If you want to retcon it that way.
Mostly I'm hoping that if he's tired, he'll slip up and give us more information than he had planned to.
Sure. I get that. And I don't think it's a bad plan at all. I don't know if we should think Gaz would be on board with it. He probably would. It's not killing the guy. It's just making him a little tired.
No, I wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't keep him awake till he died of it. I'm doing that to the escape prisoner.
Oh. Okay. That's terrifying. Again, how long are we waiting to interrogate this guy, though? I've lost a night's sleep before, and it's made me irritable, but I don't know if it's made me... Well, maybe it did make me more pliable. Anyway, regardless, if we're interrogating him, like, now, then that's not going to help much. But if we're going to wait a few days, it might, weaken his resolve. But Captain Preacher seemed to be intent on interrogating him at the same time that we have our spies out, to see if we can't cross-use the information that we get.
True. I just meant for when this interrogation doesn't bear any fruit,
yes,
that we can try again later.
Sounds good. I will make sure that the guards know to disrupt his sleep as much as possible.
And I'll keep you in the loop on the escapee.
Yeah. Sounds...
And actually,
sounds good.
He might not have gotten much sleep anyway the night before, simply because he's been manacled to the wall.
Yeah.
Keep him standing.
And then the only other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to give my acolytes some money.
Okay.
I would like for you to go into the holdings of Lord Weston, and I'll explain the rough location of where that is. And start giving some of this money to the poor there. Make sure to tell them that this benefactor will stop by again. And that they should tell their friends.
Loss nods and takes the coin from you. Shall we tell them that the benefactor is our lord from the deeps?
Tell them that the benefactor has been blessed, of course, by the dreamer. But I mostly just want to get as many eyes as possible in that district, and nobody pays less attention to someone than someone who has nowhere to be.
Then we shall ingratiate ourselves with them so that they might be so kind to provide us with the things that they see. And perhaps some will come to know the Dreamer in the same way that we have.
One can hope. The more that know the Dreamer, the more eyes the Dreamer has in this city.
I do very much hope that someday we can sink this place into the waters.
I'm sure that we will at least be able to sink part of it, bare minimum.
After I was treated the way that I was, the nobility need know nothing but the ocean.
Of that, we can both agree.
Take the island of Benton, save the Citadel. Just take everything else.
I think the current batch of nobles and every one of them is fundamentally broken in some way. None of them would make a good ruler. They are too selfish.
Lost nods. Your lieutenant takes the funds that you have given and will slip out to the side door to distribute them.
Well, she's not my lieutenant so much as she's my
Your acolyte.
second in command of the cult of Azathoth in here. But not the Legion.
Sure. The prisoner also awaits. Who is going down to speak to him, and when?
Gaz will probably be one of the first to go down.
Was going to head down like when I got indication that they were getting close to the thieves' den. But before he heads down, Preacher will knock on Gaz's door.
Gaz would already have headed down, I think.
Okay, so you run into Gaz probably in a more West Wing style walking and talking moment.
And Gaz has the pitcher of apple juice on the tray.
You said pitcher, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard picture, and that was way weirder.
Preacher kind of glances at the apple juice and raises a questioning eyebrow.
Well, figure carrot in the stick.
Works when you're not dealing with fanatics better, in my experience.
Well, how many would have considered Agranak a fanatic?
Oh.
Is Agranek with you?
Can't hurt.
Is Agranek with you?
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying all fanatics are irredeemable, but many are. Although,
well, as you said, he likely isn't as much of a zealot as the one we had last time. Likely isn't.
The thing that got me wasn't so much the act that he refused to kill himself to avoid capture, but his shame in not having the strength to do that. That shame is a weakness that can be dutifully exploited. Use that against him to break his faith completely.
I think I'll leave that to you or Trix. I tend to be a little better at finessing than finagling.
Up to you. Although, keep in mind, Commander, there is one threat I fully intend to employ against him that I hope you don't undercut.
Which is?
that if he were to die in the interrogation, he'd simply be brought back to submit to it again.
Come again? Oh, you would revive him. I'm pretty sure that doing so would not be, Oh, you mean... Okay, I see what threat you're planning on levying. I won't undercut the threat, but... yeah.
Of course. And also, he may have been told that there was another prisoner here. I was thinking to allude to the fact that he didn't survive his punishment for letting the other one escape. For aiding the other one in escaping.
Actually, it might be better to let him think that we just have him under more extreme measures since then, which would explain why they weren't able to find him.
I don't think they tried to.
Well, that way, if they did try to find him, it would explain why they couldn't.
I leave that up to you, Commander.
Well, it's best to be on the same page in that regard first.
And there is something else, Commander. How do you feel about what Lieutenant Commander Silver said earlier about not being able to trust any of the houses?
There are some that we can rely on solely because their intents are clear. Like, Benton is going to be somewhat predictable compared to others simply because they are very much upfront with what they want. Carmichael is interested almost solely in resurrecting her husband and maintaining her people, which I don't think any one of us could really fault her for either. Foster is a bit of a wild card. House Andros, I think, is interested primarily in innovating new technology. And House Dolan, they are a little hard to read at the moment. Because he's been very communicative, and that alone is almost suspicious given the behaviors of the others.
I find the others see me as being foolish and the others see me as being too trusting and reliant on Dolan. I see Dolan as being one of the few who actually cares as much about the city as I do.
But that, as I said, could very well be a posturing on his part to get us to trust him more, especially since we've made it clear from the outset that our primary concern is the well-being of the city. The simple fact is, we can't know for certain.
I know this. Regardless of what Dolan intends for us or the city, he wants it whole.
True.
We could trust him that much, despite what any of the other more naive captains may think. I see you, Emmy. I see you.
You guys reach the room where the prisoner is kept. Perhaps Trix and Silver are already there. Actually, I know that's where Silver would have been headed. We ready to do this?
I think I'll head in first and try and be polite with him. Or as polite as I can be, considering the damage he and his group caused. And see how he reacts.
I'll wait outside, and when the time is right, I'll make myself known.
Just a second phone call.
Trix, would you be attending the interrogation as well?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Spam call, Police Conference of New York.
Ah.
With an automated background noise to make it sound more authentic and real time. Anyway.
Answering your phone, that's wild.
You, Silver opens the door for you all to enter. The prisoner is standing chained against the wall.
I'll motion for the others to stay back for the time being.
The,
Preacher will enter the room, but stand back against like the same wall with the door, and just cross his arms and look as inscrutable and imposing as he can.
How's the prisoner looking?
a bit haggard, but not mistreated.
I'm presuming that none of the guards have fed or given you water yet.
The
Kind of
prisoner shakes his head no.
Guys will pour a glass of the juice and, bring it up to the guy's lips.
He'll drink some and say, "Thank you." Your Commander Gaz.
I am.
You are our primary target.
I suppose I am.
I need your help.
Guys will arch an eyebrow. Help with what?
Hold on, Mark. Sorry, it took a second for me to find it.
What are you doing?
Hexing him and his charisma.
Okay.
Now, do you have to do damage?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
But for
Okay,
the
whenever you
duration,
hit with an attack.
Yes,
but for the
the second
duration
half.
now, he has disadvantage on
On charisma ability checks.
yeah. So he'll have disadvantage to lie to you.
Correct.
Okay. And funny enough, I actually have Zone of Truth prepared. Okay, so help with what?
If I go back, they'll kill me slowly. I'm willing to offer an exchange.
Why would they kill you? They'd let the other one go back with open arms, presumably.
His job was to get captured. Mine was to kill you or die trying.
And what of the 4 that managed to teleport out? Was their job not to die trying?
They're not at any risk of being interrogated, are they?
True.
They'll assume if I get out of here, that I told you something. So
We weren't able to get anything out of our orcish prisoner that the teleporter was talking with. We had to put him in more severe constraints since then.
give me a deception roll.
I am using my inspiration.
What? Why?
Such a good roll. What are you talking about?
Are you... Is there a way to reset the roller on this one?
I don't know.
Gaz says, looking down at his hand for the line he wrote down.
Well, he wouldn't know what I'm lying about, necessarily.
Right.
Yeah.
At least there's that much.
He just shrugs as much as he can while shackled. The point is that My only way out is death one way or another. I'll tell you anything you want to know. Everything. Because that's what they'll think I'll do. But you have to kill me quickly.
Insight check. Rallying
Yep.
cry.
Yeah, I put that in the Twitch chat.
Make an insight check.
Wow.
He is telling you that he is truly willing to tell you anything you want to know. As long as... And he says this. As long as you, Commander, kill me quickly. As an act of redemption. I'll renounce Thundermaw and everything.
At that point, Preacher kind of walks up to Gaz and gives him a little nod, as in he's already broken.
You don't have to die in order to seek redemption and forgiveness.
Well,
Doesn't hurt. Trick's doesn't hurt either.
Commander, where is that ring that he was wearing?
I believe Captain Sparks took it to her quarters for examination.
Hey Mark, quick math check. Is that 100 feet away?
I think it'd be.
Probably.
Although it'd be through stone.
Yeah.
I looked up earlier because I couldn't remember it off the top of my head. The process of unattuned item. He has to be away from it, 100 feet away from it for 24 hours.
So why do you seek death as the act of redemption?
You've seen how easily they can get in here. I would rather a quick death than have them find me and slowly kill me. It would be painful.
Worry.
You don't understand what they'll do to me.
You have no need to worry, prisoner. Soon, House Vidron will be no more. And looking at him for his reaction.
I'm worried about the claw.
So
Okay.
where is their base of operations within the city? Or do they have several?
You have to swear that you will kill me, Commander Gaz. You. And I will tell you everything. Otherwise, I will tell you nothing.
Another insight check, because the insistence on me personally being the one to kill him is kind of getting my hackles up.
He told you that he wants it to be an act of redemption, and he knows you're an Oath of Redemption paladin.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes. He said that in his death he will renounce Thundermaw, as long as you can keep him safe from the retribution of the Claw. Essentially is what he's telling you.
Okay.
He wants Gaz to do it, as an Oath of Redemption paladin, because he knows that it will be done. Because he believes that if Gaz is the one to do it, or if Gaz promises to be the one to do it, that he won't break his promise. And so,
okay.
But he wants you to promise that you will do it before he tells you anything. Otherwise, he says, I will tell you nothing, and they can kill me slowly.
Gaz is here in his head. Go through with it. If you want, I can bring him back.
Gaz would telepathically back, if I behead him, that's not exactly something you can heal from.
As long as it's done within a minute, yes.
I have Revivify as well. But the spirit also has to be willing to come back, I believe. And he's obviously bent on making sure that does not happen. My concern is more that give me some time with him to see if I can change his mind regarding the death fixation. If I can't, we'll assemble in here and I'll make that promise. And that part I'll say out loud.
Okay, he's just gonna wait until you have the... If you're going to talk to him alone, he's just gonna wait for that moment.
Alright, very well. Preacher will nod at Silver, and shall we leave?
Silver nods.
You can just wait outside the door, though.
Well, Commander, before you kill him...
I don't plan on killing him. As I said, if it does come down to that, I'll have you all back in the room when I make that promise, and we'll interrogate him.
Just,
Or question him, rather.
Well, just in case everything goes horribly awry while you're talking. Prisoner. I just wanted you to know that, don't feel bad don't feel bad that your mission failed. Technically, their mission will fail as well. The person that they went to recover is not going to live. And he will die that slow, painful death that you were worried about. He's actively doing it. Alright, he's yours, Commander.
Is that a deception roll, or...?
No, he's telling the truth.
No, that's just Preacher. That's just tricks being tricks.
It's not even tricks being tricks. I posted in the general chat. I'm going to cast Dream on him every single night.
Oh,
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Until he dies of exhaustion. I literally have some of his scales. He has disadvantage on the check to break to not have that happen.
And so, Gaz, you're left alone in the room with the prisoner.
So yeah, Gaz is going to be trying to talk the guy into... And incidentally, is the guy one of the, half-dragons?
Give me a...
Perception?
Yeah, perception check.
You.
You're not sure. He doesn't have any, scales that are obvious or anything.
But it could also be makeup. So the last one we had in here was... Well... So why not... Gaz is obviously struggling to figure out exactly how to take the tact of, don't force an execution when you could work to redeem yourself. I understand your concerns that they would get you.
They would. We so easily got in here.
Got in, yes. And you were able to kill three of our soldiers, and none of those that you were apparently intending to kill.
Our druid was foolish.
And you don't think we'll be taking precautions after this? That would be rather foolish on our part.
He shrugs.
What assurance would I have to give you that you could live as part of the Legion in order for you to not insist upon your own death. Because I would much rather have that than a death that could have been prevented and a life saved.
You can give me no assurances. They can get in here whenever they want, and I don't think you can do anything to stop them.
Actually, I believe we already have one method of stopping them active. It's just that it's in the wrong location to have stopped where they went to. And it's also a rather secretive location as it is. What do you know of the Citadel?
He says nothing.
Not in an intelligence way. I mean, what do you personally know of this Citadel? And how the Legion came into possession of it?
Just what the papers... I know just what the papers have said. If there's more to it than that...
Well,
He shrugs.
you plan on entrusting me with sensitive information, I'll entrust you with the same. Because what we encountered here was a demonic incursion. One of the... a member of a fallen house had tried making a pact in order to regain their stature, from what we've been able to glean. And on the lowest level, there was a throne that still has not been cleansed. And that throne, we were concerned, might be able to summon forth entities from a demonic realm. So we set up protection to ensure that that sort of thing would not occur.
I know how time-consuming and and costly those protections are. You couldn't possibly cover the entire place.
We have not covered the entire place, no, but we have covered the lowest floor. Or near enough. That if we were to post guards down there, all of whom were, or say, have guards sleep down there, or have members of the Legion quarter down there, there'd be no... Or, if that's not to your satisfaction, I could sleep down there myself, in a different room.
So
That is outside of the teleportation area.
my choices are a slow death, or be stuck in a room until you can promise my eternal security. No. I placed my offer upon the table. If you wish to know everything that I know, and you wish for me to denounce Thundermaw, which is the desire that I have, then I ask for a quick release from the pains of death that will be caused to me.
I understand. I admittedly did not consider the idea that they might try and abduct you during the day. So Gaz will get up and open the door. I swear to you that after you've told us what you know, I will end your life swiftly.
The prisoner hangs his head and nods, and we'll take a quick break.
Dope.
And we have returned. Sparks and Bliss. After a hop, skip, and a jump on a teleportation circle, you find yourself in the northern district of town where the city's casino is located. But you're not headed to the legal casino. You're headed to the Thieves Guild. The warehouse that Bliss, your men, have been spying upon for quite some time. You casually approach. Let's see if I can do this.
Is there? Do I see anything? Any writing on the walls, like Thieves' Cant or anything like?
You probably will. Let's see if this actually works. It's going slow. This scene is a bit big and very lit. And walled. Not lit as in party lit.
Oh.
Oh, it
Probably
says that
not
I
plus
don't
2,
have.
though.
It says that I don't have a token in the scene,
You don't yet.
so everything is dark.
Yeah.
Actually, crap, that's going to be the case for the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh,
The rest of you can look at the Twitch stream.
Yeah, it's nice. It's not as far behind now, so it's almost real time.
Yeah, I'm just hoping this.
I very much like your new software.
I just need to figure out how to use it. This is the warehouse. As you approach,
This is the way.
you see in Thieves' Cant markings that indicate that it is that this is a safe space for those who are members.
I will say in our heads, Sparks, just to double check, anything we spend in here, we can expense it, right? So like, just to sell the story, if we get a couple of drinks, like it's covered.
Yeah, we can put it in the books as a something that we spent for the Legion, so we can have our money back.
Okay,
We
fair
could
enough. Just to make sure.
we could ask for membership. I think that would be a good idea.
Okay, fair enough. For my spies, have they reported any like special entrances or anything else that like out of the norm that they would have said?
They can inform you that that before entering, there's usually conversation in Thieves' Cant. But it's not like they just say a password or something. There's usually whispered conversation. There's also a back entrance that's pretty much always locked. People only come out of it. Nobody goes in that way.
Gotcha. Okay, I will look to Sparks and I'm gonna go towards the door, and I'm going to speak in Thieves' Cant, I guess, to see if anyone's gonna respond.
Do you have you know Thieves' Cant as well? You both know
Yep.
Thieves' Cant? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Wait, I don't think you can learn Thieves' Cant, can you?
I know it. I'm a level 2 rogue.
Yeah, she's got.
Oh, you have
she has
rogue,
2
sorry.
levels of rogue.
I thought
Okay.
you were pure bard. My bad.
Yeah, that's what I was double checking because I couldn't remember if you were pure bard or had levels of rogue, but you do. Okay, you approach the door. You should be able to see on the screen now, right? Like the two of you can see. Okay.
I'm just gonna speak the language of love. Thieves can't.
You knock upon the door, and a slit in the door opens. And in Thieves' Cant, someone says... You can see them peer through at the two of you. And in Thieves' Cant, the voice on the other side says, "Who are you and what do you want?"
We were referred from a friend that this is some place of interest for us. I will reply back in Thieves' Camp.
You're not members.
Well, not yet.
This friend of yours, are they a member?
How else would they know?
What's the name of your friend? And can they come vouch for you?
I'm pretty sure they're already in sight expecting us, so I should really hurry up and get there. I can introduce you once we get there.
How about you tell me their name and I'll go in and get them, and they can come and verify who you are.
My friend really doesn't like to be kept waiting. I'm very important to him. It's honestly, if you could just
You're right.
help us this one time.
Keeping them waiting would be rude. So why don't you tell me their name? Because it's rather suspicious that you're not willing to tell me who your friend is inside of this place. It seems a little silly if they're already in here. You want to get in? You tell me who you know. I'll go get them. Ask them if they know you. And then I can come let you in, so that they don't have to be kept waiting. Or we can keep playing this game where I tell you, you give me a name, and you say, I'm not going to give you a name. Just like some city watch would be like, yeah, I don't know anybody for real, I'm just pretending. Because it sounds like you're pretending.
Out of the shady figures that were reported, were any recognizable that we would know?
Maybe your contacts within the nobles might have been.
I don't think my nobles would hang around there. I don't know if any other roguish friends I may have had in the past.
Did broker told her the name of his contacts in the city?
Yes. Broker does have a contact in the city's underground. That's true.
Which I'm sure I would know as working under broker.
I need to remember what broker's contact's name is. Which I do not seem to have anywhere. I thought I did. You can give him the name of broker's contact. I don't have it written down, but you would know it, and you can give him that name of this particular contact. They are they're an underworld contact. They are a part of the criminal element here in Grovair, but we'll see what that yields if you choose to give him that name.
I will drop that name. Insert name here.
Yes. And I am going to make a roll.
Is it a fame roll, an infamy roll?
It's more rather than me making an arbitrary decision that could decide the fate of your mission, I'm leaving it up to the the die roll to determine if he was a member of this Thieves Guild or not. So, I'm gonna give this contact a new name, so hold on. We'll go with Ricario. There you go. No! Get out of here with that crap.
Please, that's a great name.
That's the name of your patron.
Oh, is it?
No.
That's so rude.
There. You even said it on screen. Sorry. He says, you couldn't have told me you know Ricario in the first place. Now I gotta go look and see if he's even here. I don't understand what the point of all this beating around the bush was.
Sorry. Sometimes he doesn't like people to know our interesting relationship. She'll say with like a flirty tone, like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Give me a deception roll.
I hope you're better at this than Dio and Sparks and Gaz are.
And my roll minimum is at least a 10. So.
Yep. So it's a 21.
Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't automatically do that.
What's that?
I don't know why it doesn't automatically, like, change it.
Right. Right. The minimum you can roll is a 21. That is ridiculously broken.
Yeah, it is.
You're left standing in the summer night air for a few minutes. And then the door is open to you. If it will let me do it. No.
The way is closed.
Why are you doing this? Unlock. Open. There you go. Inside you see a small room. It's there are several guards inside. I'm gonna theater of the mind the tokens because I'm not gonna pull tokens otherwise, but give you a little glimpse of what you see. You two can walk into the room. You can see that there are several guards sitting at that table there, with their dinner in front of them, a couple of hand crossbows. There's maybe five people in this room, heavily armed, in case things don't go down the way they should.
I mean, fair enough.
And this large gentleman who opened the door walks over to the next door and lets you in. Go to the center room. That's where you'll find Ricario. He's enjoying the festivities.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I will gesture for Sparks to follow me quickly.
Entering into this building,
Is telepathic bond still ongoing,
Yeah.
or has it been more than an hour?
No, it's not. It's just started.
Alright.
Once you're inside, he shuts and locks this door. Sparks, you take note of the fact that the door is not simply deadbolted. It is deadbolted with a pair of deadbolts and has a metal bar across it. As you walk into the main hallway of this entranceway, he shuts and locks the door behind you.
You guys gonna check in?
When we have something to report, we will check in.
Yeah.
You're in, at least.
We got inside.
Are we getting directed to where to go, or
Nope,
like,
he just told you
we-
to go to the center room. And you'll find Tony. God damn you! You'll find Ricario in the center room enjoying the festivities. I will let you know that there are people in the hallways, a few of them walking around. There's... if they don't know you, they don't bother you. That's one of the first things that you see. The other thing that you notice, Sparks, you've got a ridiculously high passive perception, right?
22.
Okay.
It's better than her passive deception.
There are arrow slits every few feet in these hallways. And the hallways are purposely narrow.
Any pillars or structural weakness that I can see in the building?
Any what?
Structural weaknesses in the building.
The walls are made of stone on the inside. These are, this place is built sturdy. It may look like it's a dilapidated warehouse on the outside, but once you come inside, whole different story.
So a lot of money has been put in here to basically reinforce the whole thing.
Yeah. This place looks like the Clerics of Robin made it.
Okay.
I should really stay clicked on one of you for this.
Tell Bliss in the link, like, okay, so now we're in. What do you want to do?
Well, I think we should go make an appearance to our friend, and then see what they have to offer here.
I will then send to Gas the report. We're in. 5 guards on the entrance door, heavily armed, bar door with bolts, narrow narrow places with arrow slits. There's a lot of money put into this place.
Looking back at that main door leading out, once again, the locks are... You heard it lock behind you, but it's not like it has a keyhole. It was deadbolted and barred from the other side. In order to get out this door, you would need the person on the other side to let you through it, or you would need to break through it.
Bliss will kind of snicker, and Sparks' mind like Cass wanted to come up and just arrest these people.
Sparks will try not to laugh in her mind. Why I can't see anything?
When you move, just hit escape once you get to that spot, and you'll be able to...
Oh.
It'll change what you see.
Just say.
Although, Foundry is moving a bit slow right now because there's so many walls and lighting in this place.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm very laggy with my trying to move, so...
I know it is. Just move. If you're trying to examine what's around you, move a square or two, hit escape, and then just let it catch up. There are, like I said, there are people walking through this place. As you pass by that one room to the south, you can see that there's like a table in the center, and there are bunks, and people are sitting there playing like Three Dragon Ante inside. Things of that nature are going on.
Where do I hear? Do I hear like where a loud crowd would be, or like where's everyone?
To your north, you can hear a crowd. And
right.
as you turn this corner, you see this door in front of you, and there is like a... there is someone who is dressed like they are a mock interpretation of a butler. Right there, this big dude with fancy noble clothing on with the sleeves ripped off. And his hands clasped in front of him so that his huge arms can be clearly seen and displayed.
I love it.
Sparks will see him and ask, please, is this what people call Chip and Dale thing? You know, guys coming out of cakes or something like that?
I will say, Sparks, I did not expect that out of your mouth.
I read a lot. I don't have practical knowledge about these sort of things, but I read a lot.
You know, our next girls' night is going to be fantastic. Don't worry.
You basically look like yourself, correct, Bliss?
Pretty much just like different outfits and like low-key trying to hide the horns and the tail is hid.
Yeah, okay.
But still her bright pink hair, because that's fine.
The gentleman at the store asks, "Are you here for the match?"
We are. We have a friend waiting for us inside.
He nods and opens the door for you. Proceed to the double doors ahead. On your right.
Question is, are they going to be watching the match, or are they going to be in the match?
You can hear shouting and cheering from beyond these double doors. Oh, wait.
Now this is how you spend your evenings.
You say that, and as you open the doors and go into the room, what you see is a crowd around this U-shaped table of all kinds. There is drinking and shouting and raucous behavior and interactions. There are people sitting on other people's laps. They're not paying attention to anything much else in the room. There are people just like guffawing and gallivanting, and sitting at the chairs across the throne-like chairs is a minotaur in the center chair with a huge, nasty-looking axe draped across his lap and golden-dipped horns. And on either side is the wizard that assaulted the citadel, and a woman with faintly tinted skin and almond-shaped eyes that are not quite human. And in the center is a pit. And in that pit are a pair of city watchmen that are still in ragged, tattered uniform, being forced to fight each other to the death.
So Bliss, to the telepath to everyone, is just gonna say, "Well, fuck."
We found.
What do you mean?
We found the wizard. In telepathic, we found the wizard. We found the minotaur with a big axe, and they're making two guards fight each other to the death.
Get me some of the wizard's hair.
Yeah, let's get right on that.
Now, my question is, you said the minotaurs on the thrones, and the wizard and the women are on either side of him.
Correct.
All right. Bliss, any way you can make yourself scarce real quick before the wizard notices you.
If I could I like try and stealthily cast Disguise Self?
Give me... this is going to be a stealth roll. It's going to be a very high DC. But you have... Yeah, just go ahead and make a stealth roll.
Too busy looking at the match.
That's why, yeah, there's a combination of factors, so just go ahead and make a stealth roll.
I would say I am just trying to change my eyes and like hide my horns and my hair. Oh, fuck.
Okay.
That might modify it.
You walk in the room, see the wizard duck down below the eye level, like the height level of the people sitting, and like quickly cast Disguise Self, and then stand back up.
Yeah, it's just like I flip down and then like I flip my hair and it's magically a different color and it's
Right.
fine. Or,
Yeah. Magical girl
That's
hair
shame.
flip. Magical
Exactly.
girl hair flip. Get it.
Is your skin also different color and everything? Like
I'll
completely different.
be tanner because she's kind of like a paler pink, natural like with the little pink hue. So I'd say she's tanner now. So she's like tan with red hair because she's like she's like gonna be a fiery rogue right now.
Captain Sparks, what do you want us to do in regards to the city watchman?
There's a second without blowing our cover, and
Yeah, no, they're fucked.
honestly, you cannot get into this place in time.
Well, that's why Gaz was actually asking outright.
One of the city guards pushes the other one to the ground, and he goes down and is kind of crawling backwards away from him towards the edge of the wall, and the Minotaur stands up and looks down at them. The one guard on the ground is like shaking his head, no, 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 and the other guard is holding the weapon that he's been given in his hands. He's shaking. They both look weak and kind of malnourished, poorly treated. The guard raises the weapon, kind of glancing at the Minotaur, his hand shaking, and then he just drops it beside the man on the ground. The Minotaur shakes his head and says, "Pathetic." Nods to the woman beside him, who quickly produces a pair of daggers almost faster than the eye can see and throws them into the pit. And you watch as the man standing falls on top of the corpse of the man who was laying on the ground. And there are groans of dissatisfaction from everyone at the table. You spot Ricario. A group of halfling rodeo clowns start dragging the bodies out of the pit and cleaning it up to prepare it for whatever comes next.
I'm gonna glance over at Sparks just to see how she's doing, because I feel like this probably is worse for her than me, because I mean, I'm more indifferent towards these people.
Is just looking really, really pale, and just like you can see a very calculating look on her, as if she's counting or imagining how all of these people will die.
I mean, fair enough. Let's take her hand and kind of make her way over to Ricario.
Well, she won't let you touch her, but
Well, try to shoot you over.
Yeah. She will ask, please, can you safely take hair from the wizard?
The night is young, but we will certainly try.
I will keep myself in the back if you don't mind. My daggers might slip if I stay too close.
Yeah, don't put anything. I know this is a conversation they're having in their head.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is a very tense situation. Just no matter what happens, the goal is for the two of us to get what we can and get out.
A servant enters in through the doors that you came through, carrying more food and drinks. One of them approaches you with some food. The the candles around the room are as you see it. They are candles interspersed with various skulls that are polished and set upon these racks. There are these cages that are in the room have various people in them. Some who you think may have displeased their leadership. Some who you think are just... they are people who are, in the eyes of the Gilded Horn, worthy of becoming a spectacle. A servant offers you drinks. There are places to sit at this table. There is a feast upon it. The halflings drag the bodies and throw them into the cages with some of the weaker prisoners to be dealt with later, and clean up the blood off the floor. And the Minotaur stands up again and shouts, "Considering how disappointing the last match was, shall we have some more entertainment this evening?"
If others cheer, Bliss will cheer along.
Oh yeah, everybody cheers.
Yeah. Bliss is matching that energy.
Okay. A member of some of these halflings drag out another ragged-looking pair of individuals and lead them down into the pit. They are shackled. Once down in the central pit, where there is not a lot of room to maneuver. This is very close combat, close quarters combat down inside there. They are unshackled. The halflings climb out of the pit, and the weapons that were just used by the previous prisoners are still left laying in the sand down there. The Minotaur shouts, "Now I'll give you two the same deal as I gave the others. Fight to the death. And the winner gets to live. We'll even send you off with some gold and escort you out of the city to some place nice of your choosing." Don't fight to the death, and you both get the same fate as your friends we put back in the crate with you. Good luck! And he laughs, thinking himself hysterical. Give me a perception check. I'm making you make a perception check because, Sparks, you are under some amount of stress. And these people are ragged and dirty.
20.
Freaking plus 12.
Yeah, she's in hyper mode right now.
One of the people in the pit, actually both of the people in the pit, are members of Card's crew who must have been scooped out of the bay after the explosion.
Oh, no.
Well,
This room is filled, by the way. You two are the only tokens in there, but like everything from, like everything from where the table starts, where the U part of the table starts, back towards those doors that you came through, is like fairly packed with people around this central table, right? It's not just people sitting at the table, like there's lots of people and there's like a crowd, okay, who are standing. But there is a wide berth from like from here back towards the throne. Like if you were to separate, there is an unmarked line that everybody seems to respect, if that makes sense. Nobody goes past this point. Everybody stays back around the table in a big crowd. And
tell,
Cards.
please, we need to rescue those people. Please,
No,
Ask-
we cannot. That's not happening, Sparks.
ask if we can buy them as slaves.
Sparks, I understand that you don't want to see anything bad happen to these people. I'm sure they're great, but we literally just entered this place. If we do anything that is even slightly out of the way, we are going to attract so much attention that we do not want.
See if we can buy them as slaves. They're not going to be entertained.
Sparks, I'm sorry, but we can't do anything.
while you're having this conversation, the two men in the pit are reluctantly fighting each other. And we will switch and see what Gaz is doing with his situation, along with the other commanders.
I would say telepathically, we would give them the details of like the three to try and get information specifically of like the three big important people for the interrogation.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds good. Gaz, you've just opened the door to the other commanders, or to the other captains, and said and promised that you would end his life. End the prisoner's life.
Preacher will look the prisoner dead in the eyes and goes, "What is the connection between the Claws of Thundermaw and the Gilded Horn?"
It's a cover for the claw.
Everyone is a member of both.
No.
They're just using the Gilded Horn, then.
The he looks at Gaz. The Gilded Horn is a legitimate thieves guild, if there could be one. They are an independent operation. The Claw has encouraged and aided its growth from within.
Is there any other thieves guilds you have such a close relationship with?
He looks at Gaz. I agree to answer your questions if you would kill me.
I'll reiterate Preacher's question.
The Claw has infiltrated many thieves' guilds, although only the one in this city.
Have you infiltrated any of the houses?
From what we are led to believe by... From everything I know, we have eyes and ears everywhere.
But none of the houses, and Preacher will telepathic to Gaz, but none of the houses directly support you or are aware of you.
But none of the houses support you directly. Correct?
I don't know. That's not information I would have been told.
And the information you have been told may be inaccurate and painted in a rather rosy light by your leader.
Is the wizard your leader?
Presuming the wizard we captured is your leader, correct?
The one you captured and the one who came here, who led us here, are not one and the same.
Right, the wizard that attacked us with your group was the leader then. Right?
They are a pair.
How does the leader communicate to Thundermaw?
Guys, I'll reiterate.
Thundermaw can speak to any of us that she wishes to. But I think there are spells that can be used to do that.
And an ancient dragon would likely know them.
I'm not a spellcaster.
Is the Gilded Horn aware of their ties to this ancient dragon?
No.
How do you think they would react if that information was presented to them?
I doubt any of them would believe that there's an ancient dragon out there.
Or just the general information of these close allies of theirs are using them to their own ends.
We are both members of the Claw and members of the Gilded Horn. If you told them that another organization existed within their own, perhaps there would be strife. Perhaps there would be disbelief. It wouldn't matter. If strife came about, we would simply put an end to the members of the Horn. They have no strength compared to that of the Claw.
Not even their leader?
If you put a brute and a spellcaster in the same room, who do you expect to come out alive?
Depends on who acts first.
If a spellcaster is ready for you, you will die horribly. If they are not, they will die horribly.
The brute can have quite the advantage against the caster, especially in close quarters.
I assure you that Thorzane is always ready.
Is there a back way into the Thieves' Guild? Or some hidden means of entry?
There is a rear entrance that is only used as an escape exit, or as a back alleyway out. But members of the guild cannot enter through that door. No one can.
Why not? Is it specially warded, or is it just mechanically not possible?
Both. It is heavily barred and locked from the inside. There's no keyhole on the outside, nor a handle. You would need to be broken in.
Do the claws ever meet outside of the Gilded Horn's hideout? If not, if so, where?
And Gaz will reiterate.
Casual
Just-
means
What did you say, Mark? I'm sorry, I didn't catch
he,
that.
he said casual means we are family after all, and we meet
House
as family
Vedron?
does.
House Vedron, right?
House Vedron is a cover. It doesn't actually exist.
How often is that back exit checked?
There are always guards on the back exit. You need one to let you out. If
I
you
see.
choose to use that exit.
So it's not necessarily an emergency exit, it's just a different way out if, say, you were being tailed to the inside.
Or if someone was attacking the front.
Are there any other emergency exits? Outside of spellcasting.
There are ways into the sewers. There's a teleportation circle.
Gaz will mentally relay that to Sparks and Bliss to maybe look for that.
Understand that not every guard on the building can be seen. There are guard positions outside of the building watching the doors as well.
If we were to attack and we were successful and we were eminently able to capture the claws, where would the wizard retreat to? Would he go outside the city or someplace else?
I don't know. That's not information I would have.
Reasonable enough.
Are any of you relating any information to Bliss and Sparks
Yeah,
about?
they've said multiple
Yeah.
on a couple of times they have.
Yeah, especially in regards to the teleportation circle. Gaz made a quick note of that to relay.
Keep in
Sparks-
mind though, like, please don't use it. You don't know where that's going.
Well,
Sparks
yeah, I
will-
was just locating.
Wow, it's almost like we're not idiots.
Sparks will ask Gas to ask the prisoner what did they do or who has the box that card have, the one that led us through the astral plane.
Were either you or the Thieves Guild able to obtain the box from Captain Card's ship?
Yes.
Is it within the Thieves Guild?
I don't know.
Do you know what the purpose of that is?
I know it's useful in some kind of travel, extraplanar travel. That's what I heard.
Gas asked them who gave the information of that. How did they know?
How did you learn of that?
It was described to us so that we would know what to look for.
By who? Thundermaw?
Perhaps through Thorazane, maybe. But Thorazane is the one who spreads the orders.
And Gaz will relay that back with an additional note of likely the Changeling managed to have some sort of link with Thundermaw before we killed her.
Or Thorazane managed to scry it.
Well, they'd have to know about it first, I think. Like,
Through
they'd have
the
to know.
changeling.
Yeah.
He did. The changeling on the ship.
Yep. So there are multiple exits out. I'm assuming all the exits are guarded.
Yes.
Which is the least defended? In your estimation?
It is a building filled with cutthroats and spies, murderers, assassins, and thieves. run secretly by even more murderous spies, zealots, wizards, and thieves. Let me ask you, what exit do you think would be... How do you think there would be any exit that would be least guarded?
Is the Gilded Horn itself protected by House Foster or any other house?
Me, the DM, is hesitating, not the character.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the character might not know or might have a suspicion, but not a certainty.
The Horn uses its resources to make sure that blind eyes look upon it.
So a useful way to get illicit goods in through, if you don't want to deal with the official channels, which could be useful to any and all houses.
I think
top.
I think the implication is, like,
They
we're not...
the house they're not being protected, but the house but anyone that is curious is being paid to not be. So
There's a
it's
symbiotic...
with willful ignorance,
Yeah.
not active, not active support, but willful ignorance.
As long as the Horn can make themselves useful to any or all of the houses, that further protects their interests, right? So it is a symbiotic relationship of filth.
And creatures just like life in Grovair. What of the female assistant to the guild master? What is she? Is she?
She only goes by Lady Long.
She isn't with the Claw?
She is. I'm going to put this in a way, I don't know that this is the way he would tell you this, but I'll put this in this way. She has the shortest line of ancestry between her and Thundermaw.
So the most direct descendant out of anyone present.
Yes.
Noted. If it'll, I'll relay that back to Sparks and Bliss. That be warned, like both of the leaders' assistants are members of the Claw, and the woman is especially dangerous.
She's the closest in ancestry to Thundermaw herself.
Question: did they pass along to us about the Minotaur?
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
so. Yes.
Gaz, ask about the Minotaur. Is he just a guild member, or is...
And what about the Minotaur himself? How did he come into power? Presuming that he's the something of the leader of the Thieves Guild, given that it is the Gilded Horn and...
He is, in fact, the leader of the Thieves Guild. He, started by hiring out goons and himself as enforcers and mercenaries to whoever would pay.
And in the absence of the Legion, that had to have been very good work.
Amassed quite a fortune. He You see, many thieves guilds have come and gone in Grovair.
And each time, the claw is there to support and then abandoned as it suits their interests.
Yes.
How long ago did this one come into power?
Oh, quite some time ago.
Quite some time by what standards?
Human standards.
So 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, or considerably shorter than that. I'm not sure what the average lifespan of the Thieves Guild is.
These
This one's been around for a couple of decades.
Preacher will glance over at Trix or Silver if they have anything they want to ask.
Silver's been pensive this whole time.
Out of character, have we been told about the Captain Card's crew being in the pit?
Not yet, no.
Okay. Because I was trying to determine why Silver was pensive at the moment.
He's kind of just... He doesn't like this situation at all. That's all.
Oh, Gaz doesn't either.
She will, however, not talk to Gus right now. But she will talk to Silver and say, "There's 2 members of Cards here being put to fight one another to the death, Silver. And they have more slaves."
Silver's going to communicate to Gaz telepathically. Ask how many of Card's crew they captured when they blew up his ships.
How many survivors did you manage to capture after blowing up Card's ship? Any idea?
8.
And how many are still alive?
As of last night, 3.
Does the guild leader actually honor his promise to those who fight?
He looks at... Well, did you ask that out loud, or did you send that to Gaz?
Send that to Gaz.
Okay.
Gaz would send back, do we want to... Well, yeah, we're going to kill him anyway, so... at his request, to be fair.
Yes, but still, the way that you said it was...
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
Especially considering, it's me saying that, I think.
Yeah, it's like I didn't know.
Yes.
Get out of your
Out
mouth.
of Trix, that'd be like, oh yeah, that's another Trix day. Does the Gilded Horn honor his promise of releasing the prisoner that fight in the combat?
In a way.
He kills them, I'm assuming.
He tells them that they will be given gold and taken anywhere outside of the city that they desire. What he doesn't tell them is that the gold is molten and they are dropped from above wherever it is they ask to go.
Through the teleportation circle.
Through whatever means is necessary to use. They always make it to their destination richer than they were when they came.
Never alive.
And he does
Are
let
you
them
telling?
live. It's not him that kills them. It's the fall.
I would assume that the molten gold would have something to do with it as well.
Actually, it takes a little bit to die from burning.
Well, that's why I said it might have something to do with it as well.
Adam, you can get an inspiration point if you don't already have one.
I don't. I spent mine last game.
Getting any of these?
Yeah, Gaz would relay that part back. That he honors it, but in a way that
Malicious
kills
way.
them.
Yeah.
In like a monkey's paw sort of way.
The literal genie.
Preacher will send a message to Bliss, just like, so how goes the education of Captain Sparks in the ways of the city?
Well, I mean, the situation, she's not doing too great, but she hasn't done anything yet, so we'll see.
Good to know. Make sure you get both. It sounds like there's not a single unguarded exit, so do what you can to get you both out of there alive.
I mean, that's the goal.
No.
What? From the sound of things, the leader is rather combat hungry. Does that include personal combat or no? Or does he prefer to stack the deck as heavy in his favor as he can?
Say that again? I'm sorry.
With the Gilded Horn, what manner of combat does he... Essentially, if I were to challenge him to a duel, I'm assuming he would either decline outright or stack the deck as heavily in his favor as he possibly could.
He's
From
not
the
an
sound of
idiot. He's deceived, but he's not an idiot. And he's not a figurehead. He is guided. But he is... He is not as weak-willed as the king who died here.
And would he want to come to blows with the City Watch? Or the Phoenix Legion, or any of the forces within the city? And attract attention from those that could put him down?
Of course not.
So how would he react if he were told that the Claw of Thundermaw attacked the Legion last night with 3 fireballs?
He would ask who the Claw was.
Well, namely that the wizard sitting at his right hand was the one to cast those fireballs, attacking the Legion directly.
It would be hard for me to speak for another person and what decisions they would make. He would be angry for sure. How that conversation would fall out, I do not know. Nor what magical means would be brought about to curb it.
So it could
Well,
be
wait.
civil war, or it could be mollified. It
Wait.
could go either way.
Wait. Did the Claw of Thundermaw kill the king?
That's not something I know either.
Even our last prisoner didn't know that.
Then why call him weak-willed?
He allowed the nobles to make him a figurehead. They ruled the city, not him.
He did have something of a reputation.
He sat on that throne and did what they told him.
And just reaped the rewards of being the reigning king. What about the leader of House Carmichael?
What do you mean?
The late leader of House Carmichael. Did the Claw have any involvement in his death, or is it the same that you don't know?
If we did, I wasn't a part of it. So I don't know.
So so as far as you know, the claws held themselves out of interfering with any noble houses, aside from the usual business.
I'm sorry, say it again.
So as far as you know, the claws held themselves from interfering with any noble houses directly, aside from business.
Do you have I'll let him answer that first.
If Gaz is asking that question,
Yeah,
then
he would
answer.
reiterate.
Okay. He tells you we do what we are told by our progenitor.
Makes sense. Strong noble houses vie to compete against each other and don't unite against her.
And you mentioned that the claws have infiltrated other houses, correct?
We have eyes and ears all over the city.
Does that include within the Legion itself?
Yes.
From the claws within the city, or did we recruit somewhere else?
You didn't recruit somewhere else.
So among
It's
the
from
city
claws.
watch.
The claws have found their way into the Legion. And I don't have names. I have no information on any of the individuals. I simply know that we have eyes and ears here that report information back.
So the wizard is the one that leads the claw within the city, with the help of Lady Long, or is it Lady Long that leads?
And Gaz would ask that.
They lead as a pair, as I said. Your questions are becoming redundant.
We're just making sure that we have everything straight. As it is, as you've said yourself, you will be executed today, so I don't want to leave a question unasked and unable to be even... Yeah.
Bliss. Oh, Dio, go ahead first.
Yeah, you guys aren't hearing the questions that he's asking. Like,
No,
you know what I'm
but
saying?
we're getting feedback, eventual feedback, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
they said
Yeah.
that, they said
Yeah.
that.
Like, we relayed that they have eyes and ears in all of the houses, that they've infiltrated the Legion. It was not before Grobear, so since we came back to the city.
Ask him, in what form did they receive the message? Is it written? Is it a spell? Does he know?
I'll send back that it's basically how we're doing it now, except Thundermaw is the one doing it. For an ancient blue dragon, this would be well within her power.
Guys, you guys would know that you can use sending.
Yeah.
Like, she can use sending to communicate with whoever she wants, as long as she's familiar with them.
No. But who? Like, okay, so basically, she's strangulating the information. They don't talk. They talk to Thundermaw, but they don't talk to between each other. That's the question. Like, if they have someone infiltrated in here, does he send every information to Thundermaw, or do they send them to the claw in the city?
Okay, that's a good clarification. Do the forces within the various houses in the Legion contact... out of character, what's the guy's name again? Thor or something?
Thorazine.
Come again?
Thorazine, I thought.
Yes.
Thorazine.
Okay, Thorazine. do they contact him, or do they go to Thundermaw with the information, and then he gets orders based on what she decides? Or are you not sure?
As an agent operating within the city, we go through the claw, and then, unless there is some special task for us, Thundermaw does not speak to us directly.
So once they relate that information, then Sparks will say, then it has to be a caster of sending, at least.
Given
Well,
what we
no,
know,
she can contact the individuals directly. It's just that it's easier to go through the caster.
No. But if they go through if they relate the information to the claw, then the person needs to do the sending. So they need to be a caster or have a sending stone. Basically, what she is trying to do is without who might that be. So if it's a caster, then that leaves away all the rogues, and that's what she's getting at, basically.
Gaz will ask for clarification on that point then, in regards to, say he was given a task, would it just be that Thorazine contacts him on a daily basis for an update, or how does that work? Or is there maybe a dead drop system instead?
He tells you we have many ways of communicating with each other.
And I would like to know the particulars of it. Especially in regards to physical communications, if possible, because those at least could be intercepted.
Dead drops. Meeting. We speaking in code. Sending spells. Telepathic communications. It just depends on who the agents are and what task they're performing and why. Do you communicate with your subordinates in the same way every time? Or does it depend on the mission you're undertaking?
Fair point. I was just, as I said, trying to get as much information as possible while we are able. And I do appreciate your cooperation.
And I'll appreciate yours.
That's so dark. Oh, Bliss would be like, Commander, I don't know how long we have, but while we are here, if you can find out maybe where a location in this Thieves Guild that we can find any evidence or a paper trail or any important documents that we can try and snatch before we leave.
like, where are the offices for Thorazine and such in the guild?
Yeah, proof of Thorazine's betrayal. Or at least double dealing in regards to Thundermaw. Where are Thorazine's quarters within the Gilded Horns headquarters? Does he keep any communications from or within the Claw in his quarters?
I don't know what he keeps in his quarters.
Do you know where they are?
Yes. Hold on a sec. Thorazine and Lady Long have quarters in the what is this? North. I guess it would be the northwest side of the building.
And what about the Gilded Horn himself?
Ah, yes. He owns a villa in the city.
I'd have figured he would live at the guild. How are relations currently between Tharzine and the Lady Long and Gilded Horn? Is it strictly professional, or are they friendly, or is there distrust, perhaps?
I don't know that. From all accounts, they seem...
Cordial?
The Gilded Horn he is happy.
So amicable.
He's making money hand over fist. He's happy. Especially with what's been going on in the city, with the nobles all moving against each other the way there is. There's so much paranoia and distrust. He can play every side and all sides and make as much money as he wants. Sell information to this noble. Buy information from that noble. Sell illegal poisons to one person.
Smuggle in controlled artifacts or substances for another.
Whatever he wants. Everybody's looking at the other houses.
And with Weston in particular abdicating their role as the Navy,
Anything
must
that
be
we
smooth
want
sailing.
to come into the city can. I'm surprised piracy hasn't become more rampant. But then again, maybe it has.
it might be all under the Gilded Horn's control.
I don't know what more you want to ask of me.
Is there anything that you can think to offer up? I suppose would be a rather pertinent question.
I can think of one. Just the one. How many other thieves guilds are in the city would you say are as equal in power to the Gilded Horn? Who are your rivals?
Guys would ask it.
Okay. He'll list about 3 other thieves guilds that are of the same, probably the same proportion. Although, not... There's really... With the help of the Claw, there are none that are as prominent as the Gilded Horn. But there's maybe 3 rivals that wonder at the Horn's
Success.
prosperity. Yes. And then
Fair
there are,
enough.
of course, various smaller gangs and guilds throughout the city that
Well,
operate
those
independently, but they don't really matter.
But those don't. Those are of no interest.
I can give you a list later. I can't give you one off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Well-
they're basically street gang versus the mob.
Yes.
And I'm asking who the other families are, not the gangs, because Preacher's thinking we do this to the Gilded Horn and we spread the word to the other 3. This is what happens when you mess with the Legion.
Whereas Gaz's idea would be maybe try and get them to band together against the Horn. And that way the Claws also don't get their claws into those guilds.
Regardless of what you plan to do with the information you have, what are you doing with the prisoner?
I am done, Commander.
Captain Trix, Silver, Lieutenant Commander Silver, any additional questions?
No.
Silver shakes his head.
Let me think for a second. And quick quick sending to both Bliss and Sparks. Any additional questions I should ask before I carry out the execution? And the execution is at the prisoner's request, oddly enough.
They did not know anything about that until you just
They did
told them.
not.
That's why Gas added that in.
Now.
The moment of confusion. She's like, all right, I'm good. You good, Commander?
Not particularly, but
Will not answer.
I think Sparks is good too.
do you have any last requests?
No more questions.
No more lies.
Just make it fast.
No last meal or drink?
I don't really see the point.
Looking real quick here. Okay, no. Would you like your execution to be public or private?
Does it really matter? He says this is public enough. And as I said, with this final act, in my death, I renounce Thundermaw, the Claw, and hope that I will find peace in the afterlife.
Captains, Lieutenant Commander, you may stand watch at the door.
Silver will make sure that everybody leaves the room. And then shuts it behind him.
Guys will walk over and undo the manacles.
He rubs his, kind of like flexes his arms and moves them around as they were getting stiff.
Kneel.
He does.
Gaz will place the blade of the Phoenix Legion on the back of his neck. May you walk in Saren raised light. And he'll swing.
As the blade descends and the head rolls, what thought is going through Gaz's mind?
That he'll find the redemption he was looking for. And below that, and I hate to say it, but a little undercurrent of, okay, nothing bad happened.
As that as that happens, the last tenet of your oath kind of passes through your mind. Your heart and mind must stay clear, for eventually you will be forced to admit defeat. While every creature can be redeemed, some are so far along the path of evil that you have no choice but to end their lives for the greater good. Any such action must be carefully weighed and the consequences fully understood. But once you have made the decision, follow through with it, knowing your path is just. I hate to say it, but I think we'll end it there tonight because that's a pretty heavily weighted moment.
Yeah. Ending with a beheading kind of, makes sense.
It was a little final. Stu, I'll give you an inspiration point for that.
You had me a little paranoid when you started mentioning the oath, though. I was wondering if maybe that was the bad thing.
Here was my balance. If you promised to kill him as an act of redemption, which is this way he specifically worded it, he was putting you in a spot. He was honest, but he was putting you in a situation where you had to make a hard decision. If you had not followed through on your promise, I would have considered it breaking that last tenet of your oath, where you would have there would have been consequences for having done that. So I wanted to just simply put this in front of you and see how you handled it, if that makes sense.
Yep. If Gaz makes a promise like that, he's following through.
Oh, I thought you would. I just wanted to see how the rest of the... I also wanted to see how everybody else would deal with it. But favorite moments for tonight. Let's do one from yourself and one for one of the other characters, and we'll go through. We'll start with you, Dio. Favorite Sparks moment and favorite moment for another character.
Favorite moment for me was having to deal with Sparks, seeing the prisoners, knowing them, and seeing that they're slaves here. Yeah, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good.
And being unable to do a thing about it.
Yeah.
And favorite moment for another character?
Please, don't do anything. Don't do anything. I know it's bad. Don't do anything. It's funny because I thought at the beginning that Sparks will have to be like the nanny of Bliss, and it's going to be the other way around now.
Yeah, honestly, I'm shocked too because I assumed Bliss was gonna get drunk and just do I don't even know what. But this is a more intense fighting ring than she had originally anticipated.
Yeah, you'd imagine blood sport, not death bouts.
Well, even so, she imagined willing participants trying for money and to prove they're better. But this is
you may have shown up on the wrong night.
Maybe you wanted to go on Tuesday night,
or maybe this is how they prime the pump. We'll find out next week.
Tomorrow night it's the halfling mud wrestling, female mud wrestling.
Emmy, favorite Bliss moment?
Oh, we had one from the chat for Sparks.
Yeah. Bun said favorite Sparks moment was keeping in character and almost risking the entire mission in turmoil over her morality and her compassion for others. Favorite Bliss moment, Emmy?
I would have to say just the girl night conversation on the walk over. I was not expecting that conversation right away, and Sparks kind of reaching out to get girl advice, and Bliss realizing that these people are all they were in the desert for quite some time and have no sense of anything.
Nope.
We're thirsty.
You guys
in more ways than one.
Some grass, just go cut some grass, guys. So that was an interesting conversation, and Bliss still trying to figure out exactly what Sparks is, and still not getting her answer, but and then I would say a favorite moment for another I don't know, it was tough. There were some really good ones, and I want to say a Gaz one, but I think that one was too iconic. I think a low-key one that I really enjoyed is Preacher's love for the houses and everyone else just saying stop.
Well, not the houses.
Sorry, house and everyone else just be okay.
Creatures of the mind, if someone's going to be this cordial and be willing to work with us, let's use them.
Gaz?
Okay, creature.
Or Stu, favorite Gaz moment?
Probably his attempt. Hang on. Had the younger cat hop near the computer. Probably the attempt to try and dissuade the prisoner from choosing to die. But also then my willingness to listen when he pointed out, like, you can't protect me 24/7. You simply can't. Because Gaz had not considered that.
Yep. Favorite moment for another character?
Honestly, Trix's low-key fury at the caster.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very understated, but it is rare that Trix gets that angry with anyone or anything.
Yep.
Like, even with Weston, it's almost a playful anger. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna screw them right over. But this one is like a level of actual hatred. Which, as I said, for Trix is rare.
Mm-hmm. Contempt. But there's contempt for all the houses, but hatred for this dude in particular.
Yeah, like, not even House Weston has his hatred necessarily. He doesn't like them by any means.
Fuck
I
this guy in
definitely want to
particular.
kill him.
But it's like, more like, okay, you're getting in our way, this is the easiest solution style of killing. This one, you want to make him suffer.
Yeah. Adam, favorite Trix moment?
I don't know. I'm really struggling
Yeah.
to think of one tonight. Sorry.
Oh, you had the
Sorry.
one quip. That got
Yeah,
you the
there was the
inspiration.
one quip.
What was that, actually?
The actually it takes a while to die from burning.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. That
It's
was
not something I did. It's something that I saw.
Well, yeah, you usually go with the opposite anyway.
Yeah, I'm more of a water person.
It's true. You'd rather
The
drown.
fire's more readily available in the desert.
Favorite moment for another character?
I really did like a lot of the role play that both Bliss and Sparks got to do in the guild. I think that was my favorite. I liked the Gaz with the prisoner, and I thought that was very cool to his character. But I liked a lot of the Rogue's moment because it's a little different.
Yeah. And
Espionage is not our strong suit now.
well, you're going to get a lot of more of that next week, I think. We're going to be opening right up with the two of them inside the guild. John, favorite preacher moment?
Probably the low-key message to Bliss is like, keep an eye on her for me, would you? She's really, she's kind of naive.
Which actually turned out to be rather prophetic.
Mm-hmm. And for someone else?
I'm going to go with Gaz following through on the execution, because I honestly thought he isn't gonna let this go. He's just gonna try to figure out some way to get around it, and nope.
Yeah, I mentioned in the chat that was his Ned Stark moment, which hopefully is not a sign of his longevity.
You're not Sean Bean. You're okay.
Scene Bean.
Well, guys.
Or Sean Bond. He doesn't get to have it both ways.
Oh, and actually, I'd like to correct mine for Gaz's favorite moment. It was in that opening meeting where, like, everyone's kind of talking over each other, and I had to take the reins and be like, no, calm down, listen. Not often that Gaz actually invokes that during those meetings.
Yeah, that's true.
I like that banter though, because I feel that's more realistic than everyone getting along and agreeing with each other 100% of the time.
We are not all
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense, but it's rare that Gaz actually steps in that forcefully for it.
My favorite moment for me tonight was kind of having a moment where even though Silver opened with the humorous as Lieutenant Commander, like he had something serious to say, and like I think you might see a little more of that. I don't want to utilize Silver to railroad you guys, but I do think Silver would be of a position to be like, okay, let's make a decision on this, and
He's starting to step into his responsibility.
Yeah, he's growing into the Lieutenant Commander role.
Yeah, so
even to his own surprise, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely. So that was my favorite moment for me, and
yeah, it's probably after the meeting, he's like, did I just do that?
And I really, well, one of the things I enjoyed was Sparks, like, I watched as, like, she would ask me Dio, you would ask me details about your surroundings, and then you would write them down. And I was watching you do that, and I appreciated that because it's like, oh, they're actually doing reconnaissance. Like, they're actually, like, making note of everything that they see, which is good. And I'm excited for more of that. I appreciated Bliss's enthusiasm for like, let's go infiltrate them, and like getting there and just like being like, ooh, I'm in my element, and then walking into the fighting ring and being like, this is not my element. this is not it.
This is a lot darker than she anticipated, so this is gonna be fun.
This might be her first time in this Thieves Guild. She might have visited some of the others that are a little less
the local
severe
ones, like, you know, the spy, like the secrets. That's all her.
Oh, when you said Thieves Guild, I thought party. What am I thinking? The desire for Gaz to do the right thing, but also is like, in this moment, the right thing to do is to follow through on the wishes of this prisoner. That was an interesting. That was enjoyable to watch, the machinations of that. I will agree. For Trix, I will absolutely agree that, like, pointing out that the wizard dropped 3 fireballs into your home, that statement, that that moment in the conversation with all of the commanders and captains was really strong. I really appreciated that. And for Preacher constantly plays devil's advocate, but then he's like, there were moments though where Preacher was like, well, if you're gonna go do this, even if I think it's a bad idea, here's the telepathic bond. Like, let's try and do this smart. There was a like, Preacher plays devil's advocate, but like, maybe the way that Grover does things isn't always the best way to do things, and he's willing to let other people like make those decisions even if he doesn't agree with them. So, and
also subtly waiting for the city to smack them down for getting uppity.
But yeah, so I enjoyed the moral quandaries in front of the characters this moment, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the fallout is next week. But for those of you watching, thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for playing. I have a raid set up, so I'm going to get that going right away, and we will see you tomorrow if you come and watch A Dark and Hungry God and Artifact Recovery Corporation. But until then, see you later.
Good night.
To